Hey guys, this is Jon Blau with the Herald Times. I'm here with Jeremy Price after a 68-60 win for IU over Penn State. So the fifth time IU has taken down a ranked opponent at Simon Schott Assembly Hall. It didn't look for a few moments there like they were going to do it. They got up by a lot in the first half.
Well, it did, and then it didn't, and then it did, and then it
yeah. But got up by 19 in the first half, and then it was a 30-5 slide between the first and second halves. And then they got down 6, and they turned it on with a 13-0 run. And that's how they end up pulling it out and holding on. So
I guess that's this season in a nutshell, but in a good way. It's sort of the anti-Maryland outcome, similar type of game, but this team remains mercurial.
Yeah, it's a hard word
to say. I can write it really well, but I can't say it.
I think I tried to say the same thing a couple weeks ago or a week ago. I just remember,
this team's crazy. I mean, to be good enough to get up by 19 and then to be bad enough to have that lead erased in, what was it, basically about 6 or 7 minutes of actual game time. They managed to lose that entire lead. Fell behind by 6 points, and then you come back and led by as many as, 7 down the stretch, I think, was as big as...
57, 50?
Yeah, so another 15-point swing in the other way after you got down 6. So just kind of crazy. But like you said, big win for Indiana. I mean, this is kind of the I don't want to say it's a resume sealer, but it's very close to it. I mean, you're to the point now that if you can almost get away if you could just win one more the rest of the way, and if you win the 2 more home games at least, I think it's a done deal. You're in the NCAA tournament.
And that's the thing. I mean, you think about how frustrating the season has been at times to watch. But to say, like, at the end of the day, I mean, it's trended towards enough.
Right.
Enough good.
Right.
And this was one of those cases, where Lamar Stevens puts up 29 points. But at the end of the day, your defense locks down enough to pull it out. And you just won a game on the road, which you hadn't done most of the year. For a whole month you had gone without winning on the road. And then you win this game. It seems like there's some momentum actually building. It's a 3 out of their last 4.
Well, it's the first back-to-back wins since January 18th and 23rd.
Right.
The win at Nebraska, and then when they came back here and beat Michigan State. So, I mean, that was the last time Indiana won 2 games in a row. So, that's been a month. And it seems longer than that, to be honest with you. But, I think that was important, too, that they were able to actually stack 2 good performances on top of each other in this situation, because they just haven't done that. You get a big win over Iowa, and then you go lay an egg at Michigan, and now you go and finally get a road win at Minnesota. So now you come back home with Penn State, a big opportunity, and you're actually able to cash in. And I think really outside of that Michigan game, which, was kind of par for the course for the road, but now 3 of the last 4 games, going back to that Iowa game, you've gotten really strong performances. And I think the encouraging thing is that the effort has been ramped up. Obviously, it wasn't there at Michigan, but outside of that Michigan game, there's been just much more effort making the little plays, the hustle plays, the winning plays that you need to make.
Yeah. So I guess going back to some of those plays, let's start at the very beginning. Rob Finney with 4 out of his 5 steals in the first half, and that really got them out rolling in transition. I remember the one Duran had where he was ahead of a pack that dropped off the trace, and an absolute
another
monster trace slam. So he was huge when he was able to do what he does best. And then in the second half, it was Archie Miller said we needed a tough guy, and that was Race Thompson, who's been that many times over the last couple weeks, month. When he's been healthy, he's been really, really important to what they do.
Yeah, it feels like it's taken basically 3 years, because obviously Race redshirted his first year, then had the concussion, sidelined him for all but 9 games last year and limited minutes at that. And then this year started just when he found his groove, got hurt against Michigan State, missed 3 games. And so it seems like he's just now finally becoming the player that Indiana expected him to be 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I thought Race was really the guy that sort of studied the ship there when Indiana was in deep, deep trouble of sinking there early in the second half. He made A couple of nice post moves, had a couple of big rebounds, defensive stands against Lamar Stevens, kind of got things going back in the right direction, got some energy back in the building, basically, and then things just kind of snowballed for there, as they're prone to do for this team.
Yeah, and so they got down 6, and then Jerome Hunter hit a really big 3. It was the only shot he made all day, but that really seemed to get the IU back in the right direction, and that's when Race kind of hit a post bucket, and everything turned.
I think an offensive rebound after that.
Right, and then Justin Smith.
Hello.
That's the next guy, yeah. He had 6 rebounds in the second half. He defended Lamar Stevens about as well as you would hope.
Yeah.
Obviously he was a killer at times, but Justin Smith to be able to show the kind of the moxie that he did and come down with some of the rebounds that he did, I think really helped seal it at the end of the day.
Yeah, I thought, if Race Thompson was Exhibit A, then Justin Smith was maybe Exhibit B in what this team needed to win this game today. And this is kind of what you get in flashes with Justin Smith. It's just not always there on a consistent basis. But I think, as Archie put it, when he's engaged and his activity level is up, I mean, he can be a difference maker. And sometimes he just has to sort of embrace that idea that defense and rebounding is the ticket for him. Sometimes it seems like he's thinking too much about the offense or the spectacular play or whatever, and when he just buckles down, because I really thought that maybe if they'd have gone to Justin Smith on Lamar Stevens earlier, or even in the first half when Stevens was really the only thing keeping Penn State afloat, this game could have been put away back then. But yeah, I thought Justin Smith was the best guy defending him, and Race Thompson did a nice job, but I thought Justin Smith was the one guy that could really match him both in terms of quickness and physicality today.
Yeah. And then Trace Jackson Davis, 13 points, 10 rebounds, another double-double. It came on a 6 of 17 effort. Archie Miller described Penn State's post defenders as basically like bouncers at a club or something like that.
Yeah.
It's very, very physical. The thing he was happy with, though, is they took 17 shots. He was aggressive. He didn't stop. That 13-0 run, again, was capped by a Trace dunk, which he had to go through contact and almost barely could hang on to the rim. But that's a big deal that he's able to maintain that aggressive.
Yeah, and it just makes him a factor in the game in all facets, whether it's scoring, rebounding, whatever. When he doesn't disappear, it keeps the focus of the other team's defense on him, and that should open up things for other guys, whether it's Thompson and Smith crashing the offensive glass, Jerome Hunter spotting up for 3. Al Durham was pretty good today. Other than making 1 3, it was mostly just attacking the basket, those kind of things. So, just Trace Jackson Davis being a consistent, reliable presence, whatever that looks like. In some games it might be 10 of 12 from the field. Some games it might be 6 of 17 like today. But just as long as he keeps going and active and it is involved, that's a good thing for this team.
Yeah, you don't want any more 2 of 3s against Michigan.
No.
Like that. And so, that's what stood out to me. Also, that not turning the ball over, as much. 12, I think, turnovers.
Except for when they broke the press at the end.
Yeah, that was bad. Archie Miller brought that up. I wasn't happy about that, but he said it almost in a joking fashion. I think everybody's kind of a little bit better mood now. Just to have this 3 out of 4 stretch, and now you go on the road to Purdue, that rematch, Illinois. You got a couple chances here to really cement things like we're talking about. You get to that 20 wins. It seems like with everything on the bubble that you're in.
Yeah.
You get one more, fine. But yeah, they have a chance to really build some momentum and finish strong.
I think this team knew it needed this one today. I know Archie Miller knew they needed this one today. Highlight there at the end, he punched the clipboard out of Tom Ostrom's hand after Race missed those 2 free throws with about 50 seconds left, I think it was. So that was fantastic. If you haven't seen the video yet, check it out. There's plenty of social media opportunities to check it out, but that was pretty funny and fitting on the 35th anniversary of the Bob Knight chair toss. But Archie just settled for punching a clipboard and not slinging it across the floor, which was probably a good idea in a 5-point game in the final minute.
Yeah, and he was talking about boxing analogies during the press.
Yeah,
That's probably why he was thinking about that.
Yeah, I was laughing at his punching analogies as I kept watching him punch the clipboard on a loop. But yeah, right. Anyway.
All right. So that's that on this game, and we'll be up in West Lafayette on Thursday.
On the Purdue on Thursday. Yeah. Question is, do you get the Purdue that shot lights out when it was here, or do you get the Purdue that couldn't hit the broadside of the barn against Michigan yesterday.
Stay tuned.
Obviously, Indiana hopes it's the latter, but
Right.
we'll see.
All right. We'll see. All right. Thanks, guys, for listening. We'll see you later.